Hello, Libra. Welcome. Take a seat and relax. There's nothing you need to do in this present moment except to relax and enjoy your reading. And to start your reading off, Libra, we have card number 25. This is Professor Copperfield's Miracle Legumes. Dwight is here to tell us to do with what you have. He only started this episode with a thumbtack, and he managed to trade his way up to a telescope. He even got some magic beans. So you don't really need a bunch of fancy tools, and you don't need expensive items. You just need what you have. And you might even find yourself with a telescope or some magic beans. So do with what you have. And you will somehow trade yourself up to a telescope. Okay, so we are at the beginning of an adventure here. And we are starting solo. We are starting with the Hermit. But the good thing is about this solo adventure that you were on, the solo side quest, is that you were able to find your own light. You are able to find what it is you really want, right? Like in this one, Dwight ended up with a telescope. If this is you at the beginning, knowing that, hey, I know I want this telescope. I know who it is that I am, and I am not changing for nobody. And I want my damn telescope. And even if you don't know what it is, that attitude is the thing that matters most. That's the cool thing about being on your own, is that you get to figure out who you are. That is the point of any religion, is to find out who you are. And the point of every religion is to let you know who you are, for you to figure out who you are. Anything other than that is just politics. But here, and being a hermit, we can find our own light, right? We can find our own source of love. We can find our own way of being. And then the hermit goes back out into the world, right? This would be Dwight going up to all the people and trading. And, usually the hermit shares his light with everyone. And we have the Ace of Wands here as well. So the cool thing about that I'm noticing is there is a big wand in both of these, and there is a hand that has that wand. They have a good hold of that wand. And so the wand cards are about our soul, right? Our wand cards are about our will, right? Like the will of fire. Fire, as you can see, it hasn't stopped moving. Even though it's still in this candle, the fire keeps on moving. It doesn't stop moving. That is what our eternal soul is like, right? If our human body is that thing that stays still, well, there is a fire in everybody. There is a soul in everybody that doesn't stop moving. There is a light in everyone that even when the hermit is still on his own, that light doesn't stop moving. And we are at the Ace of Wands here. So all the Ace cards is life at its pure potential, right? So this is the number 0, where everything is possible. You can be anything because you are nothing, right? This is like how God is. God is nothing, and God is everything at the same time, because God is nothing. And because God is nothing, he has infinite potential to be whatever it wants to be. And so if we take that and mix it up with our wands, right? Movement. Wands would be the reason that God leaves home and becomes a human, right? Why do you leave home to go in the world and work and stuff, right? What is the reason to leave? Because, a hermit doesn't really have a reason to leave his hermititude, right? But then he finds his light, and then he finds something that he would like to do, even if it's just going out and having fun, with friends, going out and making a living, going out and creating a restaurant, I don't know. Anything that is within you, that it is that you want to do, right? This has nothing to do with anybody else around you. This has nothing to do with the world. This only has to do with you and your inner light, the inner soul of yours, your own reason for becoming human, your own reason for leaving home, your own reason to move around at all. So what is it that you want to do? Because this is the beginning of a story. This is the beginning of a new adventure. Awareness. So cool. There's that light within again that is being discovered, and it was only discovered because you were embodying this hermit. You were embodying this being alone. But there is an awareness that occurs when you are alone. And I guess this is alone as well. And this guy is alone as well. Even though there are buildings back here, but he is still alone. He is still in his own God, right? He is still in charge of his own self. And nothing that's in the environment is going to affect that inner child anymore. Yeah, and that's how this feels, right? We all have that inner child. Everyone talks about that inner child and healing your inner child, and then everyone becomes an adult. So guess what? You're not an inner child anymore. Now you are an adult, right? And the more experiences, the more things that life throws at you, the less that inner child can be seen. You know, it's hides behind all of these things that life and everyone around you keeps throwing at you and tells you how life should be. But that is not important anymore, especially during these times where the people in charge are telling us a bunch of crazy stuff that just can't be. So I would rather follow my own code instead of follow the laws because the laws don't make sense. So see, I figured that out by being on my own and finding my own code. But I would like to read this moment to moment because this will help, especially like with this card together. Dwight, he went moment to moment. He wasn't upset that he only had a thumbtack. He wasn't upset that at one point I don't know what else I don't remember what else he had, but he went moment to moment, right? He didn't think about the long term. He didn't think about, hey, I gotta focus on this telescope, and if I don't have this telescope, I'm a failure. No. He went, okay, I traded a thumbtack for this, this for that, this for that, bit by bit, moment to moment. You know, even if he went downhill a little bit more, maybe it's just to pick up some space and go uphill again. So let's read this moment to moment so we know what kind of personality, I guess, we would like to embody. Especially being a hermit for so long and then going back out into the world. It's kind of easy to get back into that I hate everyone phase, you know, I hate everyone state of mind. But your inner child doesn't hate everyone. Your inner child wants something else. So moment to moment, as this figure moves across the stones, he steps lightly and non-seriously, and at the same time absolutely balanced and alert. Behind the swirling, ever-changing waters, we can see the shapes of buildings. There appears to be a city in the background. The man is in the marketplace, but at the same time outside of it, maintaining his balance and able to watch it from above. This card challenges us to move away from our preoccupations with other spaces and other times, and stay alert to what is happening in the here and now. Life is a great ocean in which you can play if you drop all your judgments, your preferences, and the attachment of the details of your long-term plans. We were just saying that. Imagine if Dwight was like, I need that telescope from the very beginning. Things might have turned out very differently. So make sure you are available to what comes your way as it comes. And don't worry if you stumble or fall. Just pick yourself up, dust yourself off, have a good laugh, and carry on. So that's kind of why we should learn more from babies, because walking is hard, and falling over and over and over and over again and taking that long to walk is hard. And that is something we can learn from babies who are learning how to walk, is to act that same sort of way. You know, that you just dust yourself off, stand up and try again. The Priestess. Okay, we have a lot of cards here, because the priestess is that is the secret, not secret, but quiet. Is literally, this is a high priestess right here. The one that's behind, she's not gonna be loud. She's not gonna, be like All Might and say, I am here. She is the one that's kind of behind the veil. The one that is wanting you to be silent enough to when she whispers, you are able to hear her. Because she knows being loud and obnoxious and screaming in people's faces isn't going to help them. But what is going to help them is when they want to actually help themselves. And when people actually want to help themselves, they will become quiet and then they will listen. And that is when the High Priestess comes in to help. She is that awareness that knows more than what our mind can analyze. Prince of Discs. Okay, and this is the slowest of the Prince. And we are also with the discs, which is the slowest of the elements. Because, things on Earth take time, right? You plant a seed, it sprouts, and it's still growing, and then eventually it will flower, but it will take time. It will take time and nurturement, right? Just like Dwight as well. He didn't get the telescope right away. He traded a bunch of times, and then eventually ended up with the telescope. And especially, like we talked about at the beginning here, that this is the beginning of a new adventure. Well, how long do you want your adventure to be? Do you want it to be over like today and go back home and do nothing again? Or do you want this to be a fun, long adventure, like watching a movie compared to watching a show that's 10 seasons long, watching One Piece, where it's still going, but hopefully it never ends because it is that good. And I am glad that I am not caught up. I'm glad that I have hundreds of episodes still left to watch, because it's more excitement for me. Thank God. Yay. When I get to the end of that, of those 1,000 episodes, I'm going to be very sad. So be thankful that you are at the beginning of this new journey, new adventure. Embody this moment to moment. Make sure you don't forget about that inner child, because it never left. You're just cramming it in that tiny space. But the inner child wants to be out here and wants to have fun. Cool. All right, let's get a little bit of last words from the Office Oracle deck. We have number 28. Okay, that's crazy actually. Look, he's hidden behind those curtains. She's hiding behind those curtains. The High Priestess, are curtains that she's hiding behind. So this light is hiding behind those curtains. Hug it out, bitch. Yep, especially if it deals with yourself. Because I don't know if you're one of those kind of people. I am one of those kind of people where, we beat ourselves up more than we should, more than we beat up everyone else. If somebody else makes a mistake, you are the first one to say, it's okay, no worries, it's just a mistake. But as soon as you make a mistake, it's, oh God, I am the worst person ever. I don't deserve anything. I should deserve to be alone for the rest of my life. But hug it out with everyone, right? The reason you became a hermit, I'm sure, was because of a negative with other people. That's why one becomes a hermit, right? When a turtle hides inside of its shell, it's because it feels that it's in danger. So just hug it out. Time has passed. It doesn't mean go back to your exes. It doesn't mean go back to people that hurt you, but it's time to go out into the world, because there are millions of people, millions of fishes in the sea, millions of other things that one can do. And this is the beginning of a new adventure, so there are new things coming, and you just gotta make sure that you hug it out with yourself, especially on new adventures, right? Like a baby, it doesn't beat himself up for not being able to walk, it just keeps trying. And hug it out with other people as well. We're all going through rough times, and it's important that we all kind of create a safe community, at least, a safe environment. Everyone wants to be in a safe place. And make sure you have a safe home as well. So make sure you hug it out with yourself. And yeah, I think that's it. I hope this reading helped. If it did help, please help me as well by liking, by commenting, and subscribing if you would like to keep hanging out, as this is a safe place where we try to figure life out together. So thank you so much for being here, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.